Welcome back to my channel, Math and Language, and we're going to discuss two-secant interior angle theorem. Let's start with the introduction. The measure of an angle formed by two secants of a circle intersecting at a point in the interior of the circle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and vertical angle. So here is the sample figure. We have two secants, so line AE and line BD are secants. And they intersect, these two secants intersect at a point which is point C. Now, the formula that we are going to use, if you want to find the value of the angle or the measure of the angle DCE, that will be the measure of arc DE plus the measure of arc BA, and the answer to that one, you have to divide it by 2. So let's have the first example. We have the given, the measure of arc DE is 135 degrees, and the measure of arc AB is 125 degrees. We are asked to find the measure of angle DCE. How are we going to find that? So first up is we place the formula. So to find the angle DCE, that will be the measure of the arc DE plus the measure of the arc BA. And the answer to that one, that will be, you have to divide it by 2. Substitute the values. So first one, we have 135 here. And the measure of arc AB, you have to put it here. And let's simplify it. 135 degrees plus 125 degrees, that will be 260 degrees. And you have to divide by 2, and you will get an answer of 130 degrees. So the measure of angle DCE is 130 degrees. Okay, the technique here is just you're just looking for the average of these two arcs if you're looking for this angle. Next, what if we have this kind of example? The measure of arc AD is 85 degrees and the measure of arc BE is 65 degrees. We are asked to find the measure of angle ACD. So how are we going to find the answer? So we have the formula again back in our previous example. To find angle BCE, you will must have the measure of arc DE and measure of arc BA divided by 2. However, we don't have the measure of arc DE and measure of arc AB. So, but instead we have these two arcs, AD and BE. So we're going to change the formula. So to find the measure of angle ACD, that will be this arc plus this arc, and the answer to that one, you have to divide it by 2. So let's substitute the values. First one, we have 85 degrees here, and the next one, we have 65 degrees here. So we just have to add those two, that will be 150. And divided by 2, that will be 75. So the measure of angle ACD, the measure of angle ACD is 75 degrees. And also, this one is also 75 degrees by the vertical angle theorem. Next one, next example, number 3. What if we have this kind of example? We have a given measure of arc AD is 75 degrees, and the measure of the other arc, which is BE, that is 55 degrees. However, we are asked to find the measure of the angle of DCE. How are we going to do that? So to find the measure of angle ACD, so that will be this one. So let's find the measure of angle ACD first. And so we will find out the measure of DCE. So to find this angle, this one added to this one, and the answer will be divided by 2. Let's substitute it. You have 75 here. Next one is 55 here. Now simplify 75 plus 55, that will be 130 degrees. Divided by 2, that will be 65 degrees. Now, because we already know the measure of angle ACD, how are we going to find the measure of DCE? Remember, in a straight angle like this one is 180 degrees. So to find this one, that will be 180 minus 65. And the final answer will be 115 degrees. Next one. Next example. Last example. What if we have we have the measure of the angle ACD, which is 85 degrees. And the other arc is 130 degrees. We are asked to find the measure of this angle. Measure of arc 80. So don't fret, let's just place a formula first. So the measure of ACD, this one, is equal to the measure of these two arcs, the sum of them divided by 2. So let's substitute it. So we have 85 degrees here. And since we don't know yet the value of the measure of arc 80, let's just put it as is. Plus the measure of arc B is 130 degrees. Now we can solve for the measure of arc 80. Just use algebra, multiply both sides by 2, and we have 170 degrees. And for this one, just subtract 130 degrees to both sides, and we will have 171 minus 130 is 40 degrees. So the measure of arc 80 is 40 degrees. So how to know if we are correct? Add 40 plus 130 degrees is equal to 170, and divide it by 2, and you will get an answer of 85, which is correct. And that's the end of the lesson on how to find or how to solve the two secant interior angle theorem. If you'd like to comment or suggest another math and language video, please comment down below. And if you if you need help with your assignments, you can also comment down below. And for this one, I have another video about circle theorem, and the Filipino counterpart of this video. I'm explaining in Filipino with a mix of English. So that will be all can be seen in the description box. And please like and subscribe, and also click the bell notification so you will be updated for my next videos. Thank you and goodbye.